Respected my class in charge and all my dear friends, first of all a very great morning to all of you.
Very great morning, Tanya.
I Tanya from proud 12th Science Standard and today I am here for speech on the topic of chemistry and my topic is D block elements. So friends, what are these D block elements? D block elements are those elements in which the last electron enters into the D subshell of penultimate shells. The general electronic configuration of these elements are N-1d, which consists of the electron from 1 to 10, and Ns2, where N is the outermost shell. The D block elements consist of the group from 3 to 12 and occupies the large middle section area of periodic table. Now friends, I will tell you about the transition elements. The D block elements are nothing but transition elements. So why we consider them as a transition elements? Transition elements are those elements which consist of the incompletely filled orbitals in its ground state as well as of any of its oxidation states. And D block elements also consist of the incompletely filled orbitals, so we consider them as the transition elements. The main property of transition element is also that it shows the properties which are transition between the S and P block elements, and D block elements are situated between S and P block elements, so they show these properties. Now I will tell you about the series of the transition elements. The first transition series is also known as the 3D series, which consists of the elements from scandium to zinc. Next is second transition series, which is also known as the 4D series, and it consists of the elements from yttrium to cadmium. Next is the third transition series, which is also known as the 5D series, which consists of the elements lanthanum and then hafnium to mercury. Next is fourth transition series, which is also known as the 6D series, which consists of the element that is actinium, which is still incomplete. The third and fourth transition series is also consists of the F block elements. Now there are some exception cases also like zinc, cadmium and mercury, as they have the electronic configuration 3d10, 4d10 and 5d10. They are completely filled, but still we consider them in the transition elements. Next friends, I will tell you about the concept of the atomic radii. As we know that atomic radii decreases as we go along the series. But in the concept of the transition series, the atomic radii first decreases, then become constant and then increases in the end of the series. So what is the reason behind it? Firstly, the atomic radii will decreases in the beginning of the transition elements because due to the increase in the effective nuclear charges and adding of the electron in the same subshell. Next, that when the electrons are added, there is a concept of the shielding effect, and this shielding effect will counterbalances the effect of the nuclear charges, and then the atomic radii will become the constant in the middle of the series. Next, why the atomic radii will increases in the end of the transition series? This is because due to the repulsion of the electrons and expansion of the electron cloud, there will be an increase in the atomic radii at the end of the series. This is the concept along the series. Now, this is the concept of the atomic radii down the series. When we go down the series, the second and third transition series become almost constant due to the lanthanoid contraction, and as we know that the atomic radii will increases as we go down the series due to the adding of the number of the shells and increase in the atomic numbers. Now about the ionic radii. The ionic radii follows the same pattern as that of the atomic radii. The ionic radii will decreases with increase of the oxidation number. This is due to the increase in the ionization enthalpies with increase of the effective nuclear charges and atomic number. Now friends, I will tell you about the metallic character. All the transition elements are metals in nature. They show the gradual decrease in the electropositivity nature and increase in the electronegativity natures. This is due to the low ionization enthalpies and high effective nuclear charges and large number of the vacant electrons. All the transition elements possesses the high metallic bonding and they have the high enthalpies of atomization. Next friends, I will tell you about the melting and boiling point. Except the zinc, mercury and cadmium, all the transition elements show the high melting and boiling point. The reason behind is nothing but the incompletely filled d orbitals. They have the large backend number of the electrons in their outermost shells, so they also make some covalent bonding. But zinc, mercury and cadmium, as we know that they have the completely filled d orbitals, so they do not make any covalent bonding and they do not show any high or low melting point. So this is all about from my side. Thank you and have a nice day.